the missing piece of your medical malpractice trial. And this is what many people get wrong. So I want to give you 4 quick and easy tips for making sure that your case is not messed up. Tip number 1. When you get the electronic medical records from a hospital or doctor, what you want to do is make sure that you have the access, all the records from the patient portal. The patient portal at any hospital or medical group. Don't you enjoy our office? Isn't this nice? You're going to see the whole thing today. Little change today. But the portal will have everything in it. So any communication between you and your physician will be in the portal. Really important. Nice sign, the New York Injury and Malpractice Law Firm over here. Look at our core values over here. Stopping medical injustice. Never agree to confidential settlements. Never accept cases that have questionable merit. We are brutally honest with our clients. Let me tell you why this is so important, the patient portal. Because one of our cases, the doctor had suspected that there was an abnormality in the pancreas and recommended to the patient that he undergo a CAT scan, but it wasn't in any of the medical records. We got the patient portal. What we found out was the doctor had recommended a CAT scan of the abdomen in the patient portal, and the patient was not complying with the doctor's referral or advice. We never would have known that unless we got the information from the patient portal. And so that's critical because there's going to be additional records that are above and beyond the records that are in the medical records, right? So the patient portal, huge tip. Always make sure you have that. Tip number 2, you should always do an original chart review. Under federal and state law, you have the right to inspect the medical records. Whether the records are electronic or paper copies, you have the right to go to the facility. Isn't this a great office? I love it here. And actually look at the medical records. And so why do you do that? Because when they send you a medical record and it will have a certification stating that it's accurate and complete, it almost never is. That certification is absolutely meaningless. What you need to do under federal law and state law is insist on an original chart review at the hospital where you go and you compare what you have to what they have on their computer monitor. And what you're going to find out is you will be shocked because the records that you have are maybe 150 pages. The record that the hospital has,
oh my God,
250. You're missing hundreds of records. You never would have known that unless you do the original chart review. So if the hospital gives you pushback and says, we're not going to allow you to inspect the records, then what you do is you go up the chain of command. You ask to speak with their supervisor. If that doesn't work, file a complaint with the Department of Health in your state because this hospital is not complying with federal law and state law in New York that gives you the right to do an original chart review. Really important. So you'll see this is one of our conferences room here. We really work hard on reinforcing the values of our firm, that we only represent people who are good people, not unreasonable, rude clients. We only represent people who agree with our core values. These things are so important to our law firm, as well as the core values which we have over here. But come on, let's go for a little bit of a walk. So tip number 3, how do you know if the doctor or the hospital has altered your medical records, added things after the fact, or made changes or deleted part of the information in your records? There's a very simple solution. It's called the audit trail. The audit trail is a computer-generated list of every change that is made to your medical record. Come on in. And when you see that, you're gonna love this. This is Patch. He works in our office manager, you might say, and he works really hard, by the way. But the audit trail is such a key part of your medical record because you're gonna see in one of our cases, we got the audit trail and we found out that in a wrongful death case, that a doctor had gone into the record, made changes 19 days after the patient's death. We never would have known that if we didn't have the audit trail. The audit trail will give you the name of the person who made the changes, the date and time of the changes, and the substance of any changes that were made to the record. It is so critically important to get the audit trail. Now, they may push back and the hospital will say, oh no, we're not giving you the audit trail. Believe me, the hospitals in this country, they don't even understand what their obligations are to give you the records. But the audit trail is considered part of your record. You can request the audit trail before you file a lawsuit. Come on with me, I'll show you our marketing room in here. A little messy, but you won't mind. These are our books. Win Today just came out. You want a free copy? Write in the comment line, I will send you a signed copy of my new book, Win Today. It took about 3 years to write this book. But in any event, always make sure that you get the audit trail if you suspect that there's been any changes or alterations in your medical record. It's so critically important. Now, tip number 4, get the billing records. Why? Because when you have a medical malpractice, come on with me, come on, please. When you have a medical malpractice lawsuit, what you want to make sure is that you identify the correct names of the defendants who you want to sue. But if you're in a hospital, you might not know what medical groups each doctor works for, because usually the doctors are not employed by the hospital, they're employed by independent medical groups. How do you know who those groups are? Very simple. You get the medical billing records. And I'm going to take you into this room over here. It's a little messy, but this is our Chief Operating Officer's room. His name is Vinman USA. He works like a dog in here, but he is great. You'd say, okay, I've got the billing records. What good are they? Well, they're going to give you the name of the medical group who's providing the bill for each physician. So it might be Dr. Smith, but his medical group would be Emergency Medicine Physicians Incorporated. That name would be on the invoice for your medical records, and you're entitled to get that, by the way. And now you know the proper identity of the defendant that you need to include in your lawsuit. So that's a little bit of inside information, because otherwise it's going to be very hard for you to tell who to sue. So those are my 4 tips. Very few law firms and lawyers do any of this stuff. It's critically important for your case. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate that. And also, write a comment. I will respond, and I'll see you next time.